Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 75 of the video podcast, Me and My Dog and Some Yarn. Today is October 12th, 2016. It's a Wednesday. It's been a very, very long week. In fact, I don't even know if this is episode 75, but I think it is. Anyways, it's been a very long week. My husband has been out of town. I wouldn't normally say that on the podcast, but because of the internet and crazy people out there. But by the time this goes up on YouTube, he will be home. So he's been gone since Sunday, but I have been gone. I left Friday for my yarn crawl. So when I got back, he had already left. So I haven't seen him since early Friday morning, and it's been almost a week. So I miss him, and I cannot wait until he gets home tonight. Yeah, I miss him. He doesn't go out of town very often, so it was kind of strange. Yeah, the animals miss him too. Kanga has been crying and screaming every morning, every night when I come in from work. It's kind of funny. You can tell that they miss him. So, anyways, yeah, it's been a long week. Thank you guys for returning if you are a returning viewer, and thank you so much if you are just tuning in. Thank you for checking us out. Um, I usually have Dottie with me, but I haven't the last few times because I'm in a new house if you're new, and I'm upstairs, and she can't come upstairs because she's 12 years old and she's got a lot of arthritis. So, anyways, um, I have got a regular show today. I know I have been in and out all summer, and if you are returning, I really appreciate you sticking with me. The move made it crazy, and my dad being in the hospital and his medical problems made my life crazy, but I think things are getting back to normal. So he's, fully recovered, and he's gone to 4 or 5 of his exercise sessions, and he's doing great. And thank you guys for keeping him in your prayers. I appreciate it. And house is getting into order. I still have the craft room, which is a disaster. But the rest of the house, believe it or not, looks pretty good. And I even decorated for Halloween a few weeks ago. And I love Halloween. It's not my favorite holiday. My favorite holiday is Christmas and Easter and 4th of July. But I love Halloween. I love fall time, and I love pumpkins, and of course anything flavored pumpkin. Pumpkin lattes, pumpkin pie, um, you name it. I like pumpkins. But yeah, so I decorated. I don't do the scary stuff, but I do pumpkins and black cats and things like that. So it's fun. We're also in a newer neighborhood now, and although there's only one family with children on our street, which is very bizarre, everybody's kids have grown up or either they don't have any. But we do have some just around the corner, around the bend, and on some of the other streets, there are a lot of kids. So I'm hoping that we will have some trick-or-treaters this year because the last 2 years we haven't had very many. Being in the older neighborhood with everybody's kids grown up and not a lot of new, young families. So this year should be pretty fun. I've purchased 2 bags of candy about 2 weeks ago, and I made the mistake of putting them in the pumpkin and sitting it out in the hallway. Because the other day I went to dust and I looked and there was like 2 or 3 pieces of candy left out of 2 bags of candy. There was 2 or 3 pieces left. And I can tell you that there's only me and my husband in this house, and I only hate 2 pieces. So you do the math. I told him I wasn't buying any more candy. If I do, I'm going to have to hide it. And he claims that Dottie ate it. Yeah, ugly story. I know he did it. Anyways, he's a mess. So anyways, this podcast, I'm going to announce new members because I haven't done that in a long time. And I'm going to talk about the Hill Country Yarn Crawl, which Mom and I went on over the weekend. It goes for 2 weeks, and there are 19 stores, and we stopped at 17. Now, I didn't buy something at every store, and I kind of felt bad, but there are so many stores. That would be a lot of money to buy something at every store. So I picked and chose, and I did probably buy more than I really intended on buying. But in my defense, I only buy yarn several times a year. When I go on the yarn crawl, of course, and then DFW and the Houston Viberfest, and then Stitches, Texas. And that's it. I don't buy a lot of yarn online, and we hardly have any yarn stores in Houston, which is really bizarre. But so I'm gonna not show you everything at the end of the podcast and just kind of spread it out over the next few weeks, so I have something to show you. But I will show you a little bit because there's 1 or 2 skeins of yarn that I want to cast on it, so I'm going to show you that one before, so I can cast on next week. And then I want to talk to you about the knit-alongs that we've got going on in the group. And then I'll show you my works in progress. And I do not have any finished objects this time. But I do want to show you some upcoming projects. So that's what we're going to do here. So I will get started with new members. So we have quite a few because I haven't announced new members in at least a month. So bear with me for a minute while I announce all the new members to the group. Thank you all so much for joining. We've got Rose Bob, who is Rose from the UK. We have Bloff Spinner, who is Barb from Pennsylvania. We have Mauvie, who is Linda, and Linda is from Forest Grove. I think that's Oregon. Not too sure. Eddie's mom, who is Nance from North Dakota. And Iryl's Knits, IRYL Knits, who is Nana from Norway. I'm sorry, I thought I heard Dottie coming up the stairs. Maybe not. Then I've got, we have Karen Louise 59, who is Karen from Ohio. And we have Caspar Clark, who is Angie from Overton, Texas. We have Alchemy, who is Diane from Minneapolis. We have Ida Claire, who is Dana from Denton, Texas. And Dana is the, no, I hear her walking on the tile. Okay, that's good. I'm sorry. Diana is the bag designer behind Diana Couture, and I show her bags all the time, and I happened to tag her so she could see that I gave her a shout out about her bags, and she joined the group. So thank you, Diana, for joining, and your bags are amazing. And if you guys are in need of a bag, go check out Diana Couture on Etsy. Then we have Warp F1, who is Lizzie from Indianapolis. And we have Mama C, who is Christina from Washington. And we've got Knitting with Dogs, who is Karen, and I love that name, by the way, who is also from Washington. So welcome, ladies. I appreciate you guys joining the podcast group, and thank you very much for checking out the podcast. and I hope I get to see you around the boards. Okay, so knit-alongs, we've got 2 going on right now, which is exciting. The first one is my knit-along called Socktember Cal, and that goes from September 1st to November 30th. So you guys have, well, we're in mid-October now, so you've got a month and a half. But that's quite a long time to knit a pair of socks. Usually a pair of socks, if I work on them every night, I can finish a pair of socks in 2 weeks if I'm devoted to nothing but the pair of socks. So you guys can totally do a pair of socks. So come join us, and if you have any friends who are knitting socks, you might tell them about the podcast and the knit along going on. I do have a co-host. My co-host is Maureen, who is Victorian Studio. I can't speak. And she has the Victorian Studio podcast. She's from Canada. She is amazing. You guys need to watch her podcast if you don't already. And if you're knitting a pair of socks, definitely double dip and go check out Maureen's podcast. Join her group. You must be a member to win a prize, and you can enter in your socks into both groups. So make sure you do that. Let's see. From my group, we have different rules. Okay, but from my group, you can start your socks anytime. So if you started a pair of socks last year and you want to enter them in, that's fine. Just work on them, okay? You can post a picture. Let's see. Okay, so your socks can be crocheted or knitted. Doesn't matter. It can be babies, child's, ladies, men's, ankle socks, long socks, toe socks, anything socks. The only thing we will not accept, or that I won't accept, are like little stockings that you would hang on the tree, you know, just one. That is not okay. Someone asked if they could knit Christmas stockings, and she's knitting 2, so I said yes, that would be fine. So if you want to knit a Christmas stocking, as long as you knit 2, then that will be okay, because that's kind of like a pair of socks. So anyways, yes. And then, so the points. If you post a picture in the thread once a week, for each week that you post a picture of your work in progress, you get a point. Now, it can't be the same picture week after week. You have to have made a little bit of progress on there and taken a new picture of your progress, and that will count. So each week you post a picture of your progress, and that gets a point. If you finish your socks, which I hope you do, but it's not necessary, post a picture of your finished socks and you will get a point for that as well. If you post a picture on Instagram and you tag it hashtag Socktember 2016, then you get a point for that. So make sure you tag correctly. All of this is in the thread too if you need to refer back to it. Also, if you use one of my sock patterns, you will get an extra point. And I have 2 published sock patterns out right now, and I will have that free sock pattern out within the next week or 2, I hope. So watch out for that. That's going to be called Harvest Festival Socks, and hopefully that will be out by end of October. Alright, so that is one knit along. The next knit along is the toy along, and I am so excited about the toy along. I was very honored to have Marlisha and Talia ask me back again. And ladies, thank you so much, because I love making toys. They remind me of my mama who taught me how to knit, because she always made toys. And I don't have any near me right now, but during the next podcast, if I can remember, I will bring some of the toys over and show you what my mama knit me as a child. So toys, knitted toys, really, I have a good memory of knitted toys and my grandma. So thank you, ladies, for inviting me back. So the toy along, my rules are almost the same as the Pinhook and Needle ladies, and I don't know if I told you that. I am the co-host, or one of the co-hosts, for the Pinhook and Needles ladies podcast. Pinhook and Needles podcast. There are two ladies, mother-daughter, and if you're not watching them, you need to go check them out. There is Franciscan Gypsy, who is Talia, who is the daughter, and then there's Marlisha, who is Lady Fernico on Ravelry, and of course she's the mom. And they're just hilarious. They're fun to watch. The interaction between the two. A great family. So go watch them if you're not already, and make a toy. There will be prizes. I don't have any prizes yet, but of course I will donate some prizes. I'm planning on donating prizes from my group, but I also, if I can, I'm going to try to make a prize for both Marlisha and Talia's group, as well as Maureen's group. And Maureen, my co-host for Socktimber, is also a co-host for the Toy Along. So you can triple dip for the Toy Along in all three groups, but you must be a member of each group to enter into those prize threads. Okay, so the knit along goes from October 1st to December 31st, and I apologize for being late, but the thread is up in the group now, so you can start entering in your toys. Let's see. Projects must be either knitted, loom knitted, or crocheted. Toys can be used as a gift. You can donate them to charity. You can keep them for yourself. Whatever you want to do with the toy is fine. Of course, I said double dipping for projects is fine. Tell others about the toy along. If you crochet one of Franciscan Gypsies, I don't know why her name is so hard today for me. If you crochet one of her toy patterns, I will give you an extra point or an extra entry into the prize. Also, whips and finished objects have one chance for the prize per week. So if you're knitting on like a stuffed rabbit, you can enter it in and then enter it in later, just like the Socktimber, where you show your progress, but it can't be the same picture. You have to have knitted or crocheted on that object. And then we ask that you create a project page for that toy and tag it on Ravelry as PHNTOY, so PHN Toy 2016. And then on Instagram, you need to tag it as hashtag PHN Toy 2016 there as well. Okay, so that's the two knit-alongs. Please make sure you come and join us. The more the merrier, and make sure you tell all your friends. Your knitting friends, that is. Your regular friends probably would be going, I don't care. But yes, definitely tell your crafty knitting and crochet friends. All right, next is works in progress. I need to move for a minute. My foot is going to sleep. Sorry. I'm sitting on the floor. My desk is still a mess, so I thought this was easier. But not really easier for my old self. Okay, so the first work in progress I want to show you is a pair of socks I started 3 nights ago. So Monday night. Yeah, started them Monday night, and they are from my husband. And I am knitting this with Stunning String Studio, I think. I've got the tag sitting on my desk, and I meant to grab it, but it's propped up. Stunning String Studio, I believe. I bought this at Stitches, Texas, and this is the, I think, Blood Runs Cold colorway. I think it is a maroony red, and it's just gorgeous. And I am knitting them with my new pattern, which is Harvest Festival, which I showed on a previous short podcast. But here is my sock for my husband. What is this? Monday, Tuesday. I must have started these Sunday night. I think I did. I think I started these Sunday night because I've worked on them 3 nights, so it had to have been Sunday. And they knit up really fast. It's a twisted stitch, which makes it look like a cable, but it's not a cable. And it's very simple, and it's 4-row repeat, and it's just simple. And I like stocking up socks because I can just sit there and watch TV and knit and knit and knit and knit and not really have to count or anything when I'm knitting socks. But these are so simple that you can actually do this and watch TV and not mess up. If I can do it without messing up and watching TV, then you guys can, because I get easily sidetracked. But yeah, these, I've already taken a picture and texted it to him, and he loves them, and I need to try to get these finished because I bought another pair, or another skein of sock yarn for him, and he's been begging for socks, so I'm going to load him up on socks this fall. I'm using the Knit Pro Zings, and you can't really find these in the United States. But if you go, and I meant to tell you this on the last podcast, if you go to Daramore's, it's a UK store. They ship to the United States. They have a US website, but the things do come from the UK. They do sell zings, and I went to order another pair the other day, and they didn't have them on the website. So I emailed them, their customer service, and I said, hey, you used to have double pointed needles and zings, but they're not on your website. Are you still selling them? And in fact, they are. They were just working on the website and took them down for a little bit, but they should be back on there. They were, I don't remember how much they were. I think they were like $6 or $7, and the shipping wasn't bad. So you guys, if you want to try out some zings, I want to tell y'all to go to Daramore's and try that out. I guess that's how you say it. I'm not sure. But yeah. Then I worked on my monkey socks by Cookie A. I've been wanting to knit monkey socks forever, and I finally did these. This was my first cast on for the new house, and here they are. They are knit out of Lone Star yarn in the what are they called? Sunflower colorway. And I have started the second one, and I just love them. Love the color. Got my little poodle charm. I love them. I'm into my second one. The only change I made is instead of, I think, 6 repeats, I only did 5 because I don't like really long, tall socks on me. I like to wear them a little scrunched up anyways, so I did 5 repeats, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I did 5 instead of 6. And I love them. I love the yarn. I'm also knitting these on zings, but these I'm knitting on the 2.5, which is, I think, a 1.5 US. My husband's socks, I went up to a 2 because I wanted them to be a little bit bigger around, although he has a really thin leg. So those are my 2 projects. I did knit on my my blanket, and I didn't bring it up, so I will have to show you later with the mini skeins, the mitered square blanket. I did quite a bit of that, and then my hands started hurting, and I had to take a break for almost a week because my hand was hurting so bad. In fact, I have an appointment to go get another cortisone shot probably in my hand on Monday. I'm not looking forward to that, but the last time I went, he gave me a shot, and he said it was the beginning of carpal tunnel, and he said if he gave me the shot, it could last, a few months to about 6 months, and I said, okay, let's try the shot, and he gave me a shot, and it actually worked for several years, and I've just recently started having trouble again, so I had to rest it for almost a week, and I think the sock knitting on the blanket really did me in. So I laid off of that until this past weekend, and then I picked up my knitting again, and it feels good to knit again, but I'm not pushing myself. When it starts to cramp up and hurt, then I go ahead and stop. So anyways, I feel like I'm just blabbering. I'm sorry if I am. I think it's because my husband's been gone and I haven't really had anybody to talk to except, well, my mom over the weekend, but the last 2 or 3 days, I mean, I've gone to work and I've talked to the guys at work, but then they work out of the office all day. So I talk to them only for a few minutes in the morning and then, talk to my husband for maybe 5-10 minutes at night on the phone, and that's it. So I don't have anybody to talk to. So I'm just chatty today. Anyways, upcoming projects. Okay, I'm gonna start a toy for the toy along, and I wanted to knit this little toy for a long time. It's a little mouse, and it reminds me of my mama because my mama loved mice. Not like real mice, but fake mice. She loved mice, and in fact, I have a little doorstop that was a mouse that was hers, and she loved mice. She had little whatnots of mice, and so the mouse kind of reminds me of my mama, and I recently got new furniture for our bedroom because we hadn't had bedroom furniture ever. We've been married 15 years, and when we got married, we used my bedroom suite, which was a queen bed, and then after several years, we decided to upgrade to a king bed. So then we didn't have a headboard. Then we bought just a headboard, and it didn't match the dresser. But anyways, so we're all grown up now. We have a brand new bedroom suite. So I took my old pie safe, which is a antique that my parents bought years ago, and we were using that to put sweaters and jeans in. Well, now that we have a nice dresser and a chest of drawers, we decided that I would use the chest up here, the pie safe, to put fabric in. So I'll have to take a picture of that later and show you. But it's an antique, and it was used to put pies in. And people would put pies in, and I guess it had like a screen on the door. It's glass now, but I don't know. Maybe it was screen at one time. And anyways, it's got little mouse, where a mouse is chewed, like through the door, and you can see the little hole of the mouse. So what I thought is I would knit a little mouse and stick him in that little hole so he would be peeking out of the mouse hole. So I wanted to knit a mouse forever, and I finally thought, well, the toy along, this is the perfect time to start this mouse. I would like to make some other toys too, but this will get me started, and I don't think it will take very long. And it's in this book, Stitch London. But I noticed when I queued the pattern on Ravelry, it's also a free pattern. So if you like this and you don't have the book, you can go to Ravelry and get this particular pattern for free. And here he is. Whoops. Wrong way. There he is. Isn't he cute? He is adorable. I just love him. So before I started podcasting, I decided to dig into my scraps. And I don't know what is going on here, but I have two two of these, and I believe they are the same thing, and it looks like Knit Picks palette, but I can't be sure. And then I have this, but this has a little bit of a pinky blue going through it. And this is Malabrigo single, and I think it's worsted. But this would also make a really cute mouse. So, yeah. So, one of these is gonna become a mouse, and I might make two, because when I was little, I had a book at Christmas, and it was The Night Before Christmas. And I know you guys have read The Night Before Christmas, but have you ever noticed that there are all kinds of different versions? Well, they're the same version, but different illustrators. Well, I had a book, Night Before Christmas, and every page had a mouse on it. And when my mom would read me the book, I would point out the different mice. I guess I got it from my grandma. I don't know. I like mice too, as long as they're not real. So, anyways, what was I saying? I don't remember. About the book, I would pick out the mice. And so I like mice too. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, yeah, that's one project. I really don't know where I was going with that. Okay, so that's one. The other one is a shawl pattern. And what inspired me to make this particular shawl is not, I saw a girl wearing something similar at Stitches, Texas, and I absolutely loved it. It was like this really long, narrow shawl, and she had it draped around her, and it was hanging quite long, and I thought, oh, wow, that is really neat, the way she's wearing that. And I should have stopped and asked her what the pattern was. I know she made it. She was at Stitches, Texas, but I didn't ask her. I didn't think about it at the time. But this one is very similar that I found, and it is a pattern by Lisa Mutch, M-U-T-C-H, and the pattern name is called Surge. It's a pay-for pattern, and it is adorable, and I hope you can see this. I printed this out earlier today so I could show you, but here it is. It's just a skein, two-color shawl. And I don't know if you can tell how she's wearing it there. No, it's too, well, maybe. Yeah, that is so cute. So, on my yarn crawl, I wanted to find two skeins that I could make this, and I did. So, let me go ahead. Those are the two upcoming patterns that I'm going to be working on. So, maybe next podcast you can see those. Let me go ahead and talk about the yarn crawl real quick. Mom and I had an excellent time. We had so much fun. We look forward to this every year, and this is probably the 5th yarn crawl, I think. Maybe 6th, but I'm thinking it's the 5th one that we've been on. And I think they've had, what, 10 years? Yeah, 10-year anniversary. Here's my bag. And they give you the bag. They give you a passport. I think it was $15 this year. And you get the bag and you get the passport, and then you take the passport. You probably, if you're watching me before, you know from last year what you do. But if you're new to the podcast and you're not familiar with the Texas Hill Country Yarn Crawl, which is also called the Best Little Yarn Crawl in Texas, it takes place up in the Hill Country of Texas, which is the center part of Texas. It encompasses Austin, New Braunfels, San Antonio, and then there's some that are a little further down, which I don't really think they're really hill country. That would be Navasota, which is between Houston and Bryan College Station. There's also LaGrange, which I don't really think is really hill country. And then there's one in Seguin, which I guess that could be because that's right outside San Antonio. But it goes, there's yarn stores in Comfort. There's 19 yarn stores this year, and you have 2 weeks to visit each yarn store. Now, you don't have to, but if you visit each yarn store, they stamp your passport, and then at the very end, your very last store, you turn that passport in and you have a chance for the grand prize drawing. Each day, each store will draw a name out of who visited their store, and then that person wins a prize. Last year, I actually won a prize. I didn't win the grand prize, but I won a prize, and I can't remember the name of the store that I won it from, but on there you write down what store you would like to pick up your prize. So I wrote WC Mercantile, which is in Navasota. It's the closest store to me. It's about probably 30 minutes from my house, so not bad at all.
I couldn't find.
Sorry. I don't know why that started going off. Anyways, she thought I was asking her a question. Very bizarre. Okay, so anyways, we left. I went and picked up Mom at 6:30, and we ran to Dunkin' Donuts and got coffee, and I had pastry, well, yeah, a pastry from Cafe Latino, which is a Salvadorian restaurant that is very good. It's like a little hole in the wall owned by a family, but it's very nice. It's clean. The food is extremely fresh and fabulous. And they have a little bakery in there. So I had picked up, sorry, I need to make sure that was off. I picked up like this bread thing. It's huge. So I cut it in half, and that's what we had for breakfast. We went to Austin, and we started at Hill Country Weavers because I didn't order our passports in time for them to be mailed. So I ordered our passports on the phone, and the very nice man said I could pick them up as my first stop. So I made sure we went to that shop first, and that's my favorite. Well, not my favorite. My favorite is probably Tinsmith Wife, but that one comes in a very close second. It's in Austin, and it's on South Congress, and I think they're going to be moving pretty soon. So that was fun. We went there first, and of course, bought a few things. And then we went to Georgetown, and there are 2 new stores in Georgetown. One is the Knitting Cup, and the other one is a Sated Sheep, and both lovely stores. And after that, we went and had some Greek food, and then we went to, I think we went to Nan's Needleworks, and that is in Horseshoe Bay, and that's right outside Marble Falls, which is north of Austin. And then after that, we went to Jonestown to the Happy U, and there we saw Heidi, and we got to talk to her for a little bit. And Heidi of Undead Yarn, she had a trunk show going on there, and so we got to visit with her a little bit. And then after that, we went to the Gauge in Austin. So we worked our way to Austin, surrounding areas, and then back down to Austin. We stayed in Austin that evening, and then the next morning, oh, we went to eat barbecue that night at Black's Barbecue. Oh my gosh, that is my new favorite barbecue. My old favorite barbecue is Cooper's, and that is in Llano, Texas. And I have to tell you, you cannot get good barbecue in Houston. You would think, being in Texas, we would have good barbecue, but we do not. Everything around here, people think they have to put liquid smoke in it, and I'm allergic to that. I am deadly allergic to the liquid smoke. So I usually stay away from barbecue, but I ate barbecue all weekend long because it was actually real smoked barbecue, not any of the fake liquid smoke stuff that you get here in Houston. So yes, Black's barbecue was delicious. They started off in Lockhart, Texas, but they have one in Austin, and it was fabulous. I had the sliced beef and the macaroni and cheese, and the macaroni and cheese was out of this world good. So yeah. Then, so Saturday morning we got up and we went to where did we go? Dripping Springs, which is outside of Austin, and what was the name of it? That's a sated sheep, I think. Let me look. Yeah, that's a sated sheep. When I said a sated sheep earlier, I actually meant a sheep at the wheel. Yeah, we went to a sated sheep, and that is in Dripping Springs. And we saw Diane, the Suburban Stitcher, and I might have made a purchase of one of her lovely bags. If you're not watching Diane of Suburban Stitcher, you need to watch her. She is another local girl from Houston, and she has a lovely podcast. Then, after we went to a sated sheep, we went to Ply, which is in Wimberley, and that is probably my favorite little town in Texas. It is right in the middle of hill country, hills everywhere, a river going right through the town. Actually, they had a really bad flood a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. 2 years ago, one of my best friends has parents who moved to Wimberley to retire, and the town was just flooded completely. They were okay, but if you go back and look at the river where the little town is located, you see trees just knocked over. It was horrible devastation, but the town is back, and they have moved. Ply was right on the river, but they have recently moved to a new location a little bit further from the river, but still in the same town. Yeah, so Ply was neat. I loved looking in there. Then we went to the Lucky You in New Braunfels, and then we went to You're So Crafty in Seguin, and then we went back to San Antonio. Now we were going to go to Mass Saturday night, and we decided we would go to Mass on Sunday morning and finish up all the stores in San Antonio. So that's what we did. We went to the Yarn Barn, Unraveled, Yarnivore, and in Skeen. And then we went to check into our hotel. We stayed on the Riverwalk, and we walked to Casa Rio, which used to be my favorite Mexican restaurant in San Antonio. But the last time I ate there wasn't all that great, and I just wrote it off for being, well, it was an off day or whatever. But we walked all the way to Casa Rio on the river, and when we got there, they told us they weren't taking any more names. And they were still open, but they wouldn't tell us why they weren't, and there weren't that many people there, so I don't know what the deal was. He said he couldn't tell us why. I thought that was very strange. So I had looked them up on Yelp earlier just to see where they were located, and because I couldn't remember how close I was and what way when I got out to the river I needed to walk, because I don't go that often, so I forgot. I just saw they only had 3 stars, so that was a little disappointing. So maybe it's gone down, I'm not sure. So I didn't get my Mexican food. Instead, we went to Landry's because we walked past it and we were hungry and we were tired, and it was getting dark, and we wanted to make sure we got back to our hotel at a decent hour. So we ate at Landry's. It was very good. I had shrimp fettuccine, which kind of made me sad because I can eat at Landry's here in Houston, but it is what it is. We were hungry. We had to eat. So, anyways, So we stayed in San Antonio, and then we went Sunday. We went to Mass at St. Mary's, which was very nice. We went early. We went to the 8 o'clock Mass, and there was hardly anyone there. But in a way, that doesn't surprise me because it's down in the city and not a lot of people live around there. So I'm thinking it was probably mostly tourists going to Mass. I don't know. Um, but it was a lovely church, just gorgeous, beautiful, old, traditional Catholic church, and we enjoyed the Mass. Then we went to, we grabbed some breakfast, and then we shot up to Comfort, Texas, and we went to the Loom Room and to Tinsmith Wife, which is my favorite store of all time. If you ever get near Comfort, Texas, you need to make it a point to go to the Tinsmith Wife. They're friendly. Their yarn, the things that they carry in there are different from other stores. They carry a variety of stuff, and they even have a section for cross stitch and embroidery, which I think is neat. Then after that, we headed back to Houston, and we went to Yarn-A-Rama in Page, and that was fun too. So let me show you what I got real quick. This is actually quite a long podcast. Okay, so I bought my husband some sock yarn, and I got this in Page at the Yarn-A-Rama. And I really need to make it a point to go out there more often. I do love that store. It's out in the middle of nowhere, out in Page, which I don't know how many people live in Page, but it can't be very many because if you blink going through this town, you will miss it. And the fact that they have a yarn store and they've had one out there for several years is saying a lot because I wouldn't think a yarn store would survive out in the middle of Page. But it does, and it's amazing. They have different, they specialize, I think, not only in knitting yarn, but they have spinning wheels and a little bit of weaving, and they have a lot of fiber. So you guys should check that out. But this is Regia Nautica, and the colorway is 06068, and this is fabulous. They also had some Arnie and Carlos, and I almost bought some because I love that yarn, but I didn't. I got this instead for hubby. Then, okay, so then at the Tinsmith Wife, now let me show you, what's it called? A sated sheep. I almost said a sheep at the wheel, but it's a sated sheep. I bought a bag from Diane, who is Suburban Stitcher, and when you see this, you're going to die. I originally had thought about getting the bag with owls on it because she posted it on Instagram, and it was really cute. Mom ended up getting that one, but look what I got. Oh my gosh. Isn't that the cutest fabric? She said she got this in Denver, and I love it. It's got the handle, and it's a zipper, and it's got white fabric. It's got a little pattern to it, but it's mostly white, which is nice because you can see in it really good, like what's actually in there. Yeah, for people with old eyes like me. Isn't that adorable? Absolutely adorable. I love this so much. Then did I buy anything else there? No, that was all I bought there. When we went to the Loom Room, I didn't buy anything in there. But that's mostly weaving, and they have pottery and things like that. And I bought a really cute mug for my husband last time, but I didn't buy anything there this time. But I might have bought quite a bit at the Tinsmith Wife, and I will show you what I bought there. I bought this This is, it's Life in the Long Grass, and they use the initials LITLG, Life in the Long Glass. I'm sorry, Life in the Long Grass. I cannot speak. And they are in Ireland, I believe. It's fine sock, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's 460 yards. And I love it. This is going to be, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a cowl. Not the Star Showers cowl, but one that's similar by the same designer, which I think is Helen Stewart, maybe? I'm not sure. But I have something cued for it, and I just love it. It's white, and it's got just specks of black and brown, which will go really good this winter with just about anything. And my coat is like a black wool coat. Of course, I don't get to wear it very much because it's always warm here, but maybe I'll get lucky and we'll have a freeze this year. I'm not sure. Then this I saw when I walked in the door, and I carried it around the whole time. I was not going to let it go. It is called Silk Traveler, and it's by Yarn Rehab. And I was told that this is a father-son who dyes yarn. And it says rehabilitation for the yarn. Here, anyways, it's Yarn Rehab, and it's Silk Traveler. And I don't know the name of the colorway. Oops. But look at this. Is that not lovely? I don't know if you guys can see the shine on that. It's a single, and I believe it's a fingering weight. Let me see if it says. Yes, fingering weight. It's 30% silk, 70% merino, superwash merino. And I just love it. I fell in love with the color the minute I saw it. I love this. And then I bought 2 gumballs of knitted wit, and one's pink, one's blue. It's called something blue, and the pink one is hot pink. Something blue and hot pink. And of course those are going in the blanket. And I bought another pair of Chiagu lace, and these are the US 6. First, a shawl, of course, because I make a lot of shawls, and you can never have too many needles for shawls. Then Renata Yarns had a trunk show going on, and I bought 4 mini skeins. Oops. There we go. Aren't those gorgeous? These, of course, are for the sock blanket. And then the thing I absolutely love, and I'm going to use to make the serge shawl, is knitted wit yarn, and it's in the Victory fingering base. And oh my gosh, is that not gorgeous? Oh my. I saw these and I just had to. This is called Guy Noir. It's just a black. And then this is called Creepy Crawlers. And even though it's really Halloween, I'm going to wear it all the time. Aren't those pretty? They're just so pretty together, and they're going to be gorgeous. I love them. I had to show you this because I want to put them in a ball, and I want to knit them right now. But I'm going to make myself finish at least one of my socks. Like the monkey socks. I need to finish those. So I might wind this up later tonight and then stick it in front of my face and not let myself cast this on until I finish um, the socks, because I do want to cast on my mouse tonight and I don't want to be casting on too many things. So I guess that's about it. I love this. I wear a lot of black. I wear jeans to work and I have a lot of black shirts. I like black. I like gray too. I wear a lot of gray, but this will go with either black or gray. I love it, love it, love it. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching me and for coming back and sticking with me through my um, not so, uh, not so, what's the word I'm thinking of? Consistent, not so consistent filming schedule. I hope to fix that going forward. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching me, and I will talk to you hopefully next week. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.